Hello and welcome to Tax Matters. It's good to be back once again. The lockdown, the restriction of movement imposed on the FCT, Lagos and Ogun states, which was only eased a few weeks ago, had far-reaching effect on the business and politics of the Nigerian nation. That was to be expected as the FCT and Lagos play important roles in the business and economic lives of Nigeria. Last episode, we informed you about the measures put in place by the management of the FRS to make life easier for taxpayers to fulfill their obligations under the law with little or no inconvenience. On that episode, we also expressed the hope that, in spite of everything, all and sundry would take advantage of these measures and do the needful. So how do we go about doing the needful? Filing and paying due taxes in the circumstances in which we presently find ourselves. Mr. Adamu Kudu, Acting Director and Head of Department of the Micro and Small Taxpayer Department at the FRS, is on hand to guide us. Mr. Kudu has been one of the driving forces of the group driving the e-services project of the FRS, including iTax, Integrated Tax Administration System. Mr. Kudu joined us via Zoom from Abuja. Mr. Kudu, thank you for joining us on Tax Matters.
You're welcome.
Let's begin by asking you, what does your department, Micro Small Taxpayer Department, do within the larger FIRS?
Thank you very much. The Micro and Small Taxpayer Department is a department that is larger than any other department, but based on Pareto principle, contribute very, very small to collection. There is a department where you nurture small taxpayers to become big, and they migrate to medium taxpayers department or large taxpayer department. So it's a department where small taxpayers are being nurtured until they become big. We have 183 offices, out of which micro and small cover 91 offices and 138 stamp offices. So the Micro and Small Taxpayer Department, we register taxpayers. You don't register taxpayers in main tax. You don't register taxpayers in large taxpayer department. But it's the Micro and Small, you register them. When you register them, you keep their tax affairs, watch how they grow, and once they reach the threshold, you migrate them to where they belong, whether large tax or medium tax. So you do collection, also you do assessment, also you also manage the taxpayers' affairs, and also you do audit. And that's why attached to Micro and Small Taxpayer Department, you have the regional audit that takes care of their own auditing side. But specific to Micro and Small Taxpayer Department, we perform all activities commencing from enrolling taxpayer to filing, to payment, to monitoring payment, issuing taxpayer certificate, and to recommend for enforcement where there is default.
During this period of the lockdown occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, how do you advise that taxpayers go about filing of their tax returns and, of course, paying?
The pandemic, COVID-19 threw a lot of challenges to tax administration, because most taxpayers are used to going to tax office to do their filing, to do their payment, to do their tax return certificate processing all along. And even when you deploy a good solution, still you want to use their old ways. However, during this pandemic period, we were able to advise taxpayers to go online and file their returns. Some of them will go through FRS website, www.frs.gov.ng, locate e-filing there and file online. And some of them used to go direct using any browser, https://efiling.frs.gov.ng, and the e-filing page will just open and just file their return. We received over 1,000 during the pandemic period, 1,000 taxpayers and above, nearly 2,000. File their return online, and all our payments are online. And that's why these days, in this pandemic period, what we do most is to use emails and phone calls to enforce our collection. We will call the taxpayers, you have not paid, and we guide them through. So then, when they go through remitter and they have a problem, we use pay direct. Since going to bank became difficult too, say, okay, use quick teller. A majority of our taxpayers are now using quick teller. And the quick teller, you log onto the site and you follow their processes and use your ATM card to pay. That taxpayer makes use of them in this pandemic period. The same thing, the remitter solution, you go to remitter.net where you generate your RR number and then you go to your bank interface, internet banking, and click on remitter and use that RR, enter it and pay your tax. Most of the taxpayers pay through this. We also have the e-bills pay under the NIBSS. Most taxpayers also use the e-bills pay and they pay successfully. E-transact is also there for most of the taxpayers, but majority use between remitter and the teller under the internet interswitch solution. And that's why we discovered that in Nairobi, we collected almost 475 billion. That's a whooping sum in the pandemic period. We're still battling with SIM this particular month. We also went through the e-stamping, where heavy stamp duty was recovered last month, almost with something below. Is a very good approach that the pandemic period has thrown up challenges, and we are thinking the box to go around the challenges and make collection. So good. It has been hectic, but we're still doing our best to make sure we don't fail government.
That's encouraging, having such large amount of taxpayers coming online to file their tax returns and pay. Is the service keeping track of those businesses in operation at this time, as some may want to take negative advantage of the lockdown and avoid filing and payment of taxes?
So far, so good. Actually, there are businesses that are flourishing in this pandemic era, and to be honest with you, still they want to capitalize on the pandemic era and refuse to do the needful. Businesses like telecommunication, who use telecommunication in this pandemic era, businesses like food, beverages, also they are making it now. Textiles, in terms of those sewing the face mask, they are also flourishing, and also the internet banking services are also being used heavily in this period. These are the segment of the taxpayers that we expect them to file return. Others that are affected by the lockdown, yes, we are looking at, even though some of them are also doing some things at the back end, but these particular sectors, telecommunication, banking industry, textile industry, those sewing the face masks, pharmaceutical and medical, and food and beverages. These people, they have nowhere to hide. So we are doing risk program now to make sure that income we're supposed to tax now, we should collect the tax now. And that is why even those that were owed, we created a palliative that you are supposed to file on 21st of the month for VAT. You are allowed to file with additional week added to the end of the month. For those filing annual returns, some supposed to be 30 June, some supposed to be 30 January. The palliative gave you additional 1 month to pay, to file and pay. Under the palliative again, if you file 90 days earlier, the law gave you opportunity of taking your compliance bonus, either 1% or 2%. It depends on your level of turnover. Under the palliative again, we said that if you are owing and penalty and interest have accrued, if you come out to pay lump sum in this pandemic period, we allow you to go away without the penalty and interest. That is, penalty and interest are waived. The board met and agreed to hold this palliative, and it is working. Many taxes are coming up now because the penalties are heavy. They are now coming up to pay. So the palliatives are working. And we know this is the time we are now doing what we call risk profiling of taxpayers, especially those that we know they are not affected by the pandemic period. We are keeping track of the current transaction level so that tomorrow they will have no story to tell. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Guy, what happened? This COVID-19 is not easy on my business, so my client just put the project on hold. Imagine that one of last week. They cancelled it. And I am scheduled to call my tax officer next week. What do I tell him?
Relax. FIRS has it sorted already. That's why they issued palliative measures to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on taxpayers. Remittance of VAT, which used to be on or before 21st of every month, has now been extended to the last day of the month. FIRS also states that it's imperative that companies whose revenues are in foreign currency and personal income, tax returns for foreign affairs, non-residents, military and police, immediately check their website for important updates as well as information on late returns penalty. All supporting documents can be submitted later to the tax office for all those who cannot access email facilities. There are lots more. From now till further notice, FIRS says all taxpayers can now take advantage of its simple, user-friendly and robust e-filing process to submit their documents online instead of visiting tax offices. Dedicated email addresses for each of the offices are available on their website, www.firs.gov.ng. Stay safe and comply with all the guidelines issued by the government so that together we can make Nigeria working again.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Now, many taxpayers who are willing to file their tax returns may be online at the same time, given the time frame for filing. How robust is this online platform to handle such heavy traffic?
Thank you very much. What the taxpayer requires is just the internet facilities to log on to our online platform. Online platforms are robust to handle all levels of transactions. And in this pandemic period, we have increased so many things. We've increased the processors, we've increased the memories, we've increased the bandwidth in so many areas. And also, the e-filing that was running on one node before is now running on 103 nodes. And the clustering has been done. So taxpayers, they're having better experience now compared to before. And it's because we know they will actually go in to file online, pay online, without having problem. We have to put all these measures on ground. And they are fine at the moment.
That's good to hear. So for taxpayers who will be using this online platform for the first time, could you please give a step-by-step approach to this?
Thank you very much. Any taxpayer that wants to file return online, all he needs to do is to first and foremost be registered with taxpayer identification number. With taxpayer identification number, you know you're already in TaxNet. The next thing is for you to request for access to use the online facility. And that is when we now say you should complete e-filing access application form. On that form, the tax office will be told that this person is to file online on my behalf, and I'm the person authorizing him. And this taxpayer will only view, this taxpayer will only do other things other than filing. So it depends on the access right that the owner of the company is giving to the person being introduced to file on their behalf. So the first thing is to be registered with taxpayer identification number. The second thing is to fill e-filing access application form, where you have part A, B, C. Part A, you identify yourself, the name of the taxpayer with TIN and date you are completing the form. Part B is to define the access right. You want to give this person who want to use the online filing. Part C is to identify the person this is my consultant, my financial controller is to do this for me online. And per this, identity of the person authorizing the proxy, the MD or principal of the company, that is the place where he will sign. All these things, when they are done, the part E, where the tax office will look at the information on the paper and also map with the information from the file, you'll be able to say, okay, yes, this person has the right to introduce this person, and the form is approved, and the username and password is issued to the subscriber to go and file online.
Thank you, sir. Now, from your vantage position, would you share with us some of the frequently expressed concerns of those who have tried using the FRS online platform? In other words, what questions have taxpayers been asking?
Yes, thank you very much. Most of the concerns we have seen center basically on usability. When I talk of usability, I mean the taxpayer wanted to go online because of limited information or absence of training. The taxpayer get hooked somewhere. And instead of him to go through the frequently asked questions to be able to get himself out of the problem, they will just hang on without consulting anybody. Some of them that attempt to course, we normally guide them through and move on to the end. But basically, absence of training stall most of these things. Taxpayers need further engagement, one-on-one, to be able to be familiarize themselves with our e-solutions and usage of the online. Sometimes they will use the Firefox, it's not giving them the answer. Instead of going straight to Google Chrome, some of them will not. They say it's not working. Sometimes, in the moment Explorer fails, they think that's the end of the world. No. And some of them, when they start and they encounter no rules yet, they don't know that it's a situation that happens not too frequent. It happens and goes. It's a system glitch that comes up like 20 minutes and then it will just go. Some taxpayers will just go in when they see no rule yet, they'll say, it's not working. They were abandoned for years. At the end of the day, you run report, you discover that those who see that time, they go back, they see it better, and then they complete their filing. The good thing is that wherever you stop, you can continue from there and finish your filing. So basically, the taxpayers, sometimes they suffer network from our end, sometimes they suffer usability problem from their own end because of technical gap, but they couldn't ask more questions to aid their filing process, and they couldn't go to our site to look at frequently asked questions to guide them. And some of them, they are well educated as to the browser to use. And by and large, some don't even know the particular network that works in their environment. These are things that taxpayers need to, one, make sure you know the network working in your area and then you hook onto that. Two, if Explorer is not working, go through Chrome or Firefox. Three, when you're filing your encounter problem, go frequently ask questions to guide you, or you call the help desk number and you'll be guided. And finally, don't wait till the peak period to file. You cannot escape congestion and traffic. Always file earlier. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You were sharing their experiences. I did like to know if there are some questions they've asked when they are trying to file online. Like I was asking, what questions have they been filing? Those questions that have posed as concerns to taxpayers when they try using this platform.
Thank you very much. The questions taxpayers do ask are so many. I've told you that the step-by-step e-filing has to do with taxpayer getting TIN first. That's tax identification number, followed by completing the e-filing access application form. You see, when you go through our site to complete this form and it doesn't serve you well, print it out, fill it, scan it, and send it to the tax office. Sometimes taxpayers don't know where that office is. But if you have any record from taxes, the address will be there. Just go through where you see contact us under the FS website. Contact us, you see your tax office there. Send it there. the tax office will generate the username and password and send it back to you through the same email. So always use contact us to locate your office, because that's the question that taxpayers normally ask. Having had your username and password, the next thing taxpayers do is they log on and failed. If you fail 3 times, system will block you for 30 minutes. What normally happens is that they are giving username and password, some of them will put space before the password and it will not go. Some of them will not respect the character requirement. So by the time you follow strictly the character requirement, the correct username and password, all you do is to go in. When you have gone in, the questions taxpayers normally ask again is, where do I locate the tax type? It's already there. And then sometimes when they locate tax type to file, what is left is the tax period. Some of them will say my tax period is not there. Whereas you're supposed to scroll down. You scroll down, you see your tax period. If the FRS have not updated the tax period, they can easily do that. But where they have updated, just scroll down, you will see tax period you want to file. Basically, you see 3 aspects of the tax period. You have filed now, you have in progress, and you have filed. The one in progress, you can continue. The one filed, you will see it will not be active. So sometimes normally encounter that. So immediately they want to submit, and system is saying, are you sure? They come and say, hey, what, am I doing something wrong? The issue is just be sure that the data you enter is correct. Now, and submit, there's no fear. If you make any mistake, the only way you can correct it is you have to go to message center and send a mail to the tax office that I made mistake in the return account. Please do this and for me. The tax office will look at it and then see if they can go through reassessment to fix the problem for you. Otherwise, the return you send, they have no right to touch it. But by the time you make any complaint, they will have to go through the rigors of reassessment process to fix the problem for you. So is taxpayers ask question at each stage. How do I get my access? And even when they fill the form, they're still asking question. And after they have gotten their username and password, they'll still make error again. So they will even ask which browser is the best. Just be able to navigate through Explorer, Google Chrome, or Firefox. One of them will serve you better. And it is good you familiarize yourself with one that serves you better before you commence the filing. And when you get to the e-filing site, make sure you select the tax type. Do not just pick anything and then start filling. No. The tax type you select determines the form you see when you get to the e-filing page. And the period you select also matters. Do not file for 2020, filing for 2019. These are things that taxpayers normally encounter problems with and ask questions on. And we normally answer. Some of them are very, very good. They go to frequently asked questions and they use it maximally in their compliance process.
There you are, the way to do the needful. You know what we mean. File tax returns and pay due taxes. On your behalf, we thank Mr. Kudu and we thank you for your company on this episode. See you next week.